up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nohemy, and I am so excited to say welcome back because this is officially my second video on YouTube. I'm so excited, and thank you for all your continuous support and the comments and all the things and the feedback that I got from just my intro video, which I know that the quality wasn't the best, but I'm still trying to get the hang of this. And yeah. But anyway, I am so excited because today I'm going to definitely be talking about one of the main reasons and the main purpose of why I decided to open up a YouTube channel, and that is talking about endometriosis. And the reason why I feel that is so important is because as somebody who is currently battling with endometriosis stage 4, which if you guys don't know, it is the highest, most severe stage level, I guess, of endometriosis. And yeah, unfortunately, I was one of the chosen, and to consider myself as a warrior and somebody who is currently battling with endometriosis every single day. Yeah, to all my endo warrior sisters, I salute you, because trust me, it is not easy, whether you have stage 1, 2, 3, or 4. We are all experiencing the pain and the emotional toll that it takes on you and your body. I just want to honor all the women out there who are currently experiencing that. And for those of you women who think that you might have endometriosis, now this is definitely a video that you want to watch, because I'm going to go ahead and be talking about the symptoms and how I discovered that I had endometriosis. Definitely want to be breaking this in parts, so I'm probably thinking I'm going to make about 1 or 2 parts of this. I don't want to make it so extensive, overwhelming, just because there's so much information to take down. The reason why I decided to open up a YouTube channel is because one of my mission statements and my goal is to bring endometriosis into the public forum of discussion, because I do believe that endometriosis is definitely an underrepresented disease with lots of side effects and emotional tolls and all of that. I wish that when I was first diagnosed that I would have found more information about it, whether it was a YouTube video explaining what endo was, or any detailed article with how to manage and cope with endometriosis, because a lot of it is just the side effects, but what happens next? How do you live with the pain? How do you live with the emotional distress that you're currently going through, that your body is changing before your eyes, and you're trying to have it all together and just keep it, keep yourself sane? I mean, I don't want to say that people don't care, but when it's one of those things that, either your boss or your partner or your friends don't know why you're calling out, or why you're flaking, or why you can't go to the party or the event. I mean, they're not understanding that you're in pain, and not only are you battling with what women think that it's a PMS or cramps. See, the difference between menstrual cramps is that cramps are only during your period or days prior to your period. Endometriosis is every single day, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My body was changing. I went from a size 24 to a size 26, 27. And I know, again, a lot of people might be saying, oh my God, like that she's not even fat, or, there's bigger people out there, or whatever it is. But you have to understand that to me, that was quite traumatic. It sucked, because I never understood why my body was changing. I know I wasn't eating any different, or I wasn't, I know I wasn't pregnant, so I couldn't understand why I was feeling a certain way, to where I was starting to feel ugly and not accepting my body for who it was or for what it was. Now, I'm talking about, this was prior to me being diagnosed, prior to my surgery, and still battling with that. And she just go to the gym. See, it doesn't work like that. You can go to the gym as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you're gonna feel bloated almost every single day, because you're constantly in pain, and your pain seems to flare up any sudden movement or anything that you might eat. And yes, there are certain diets that you should follow, certain medications, certain things that you should be doing certain workouts, but it's just to treat it temporarily. It doesn't really go away. So I just want to go ahead and make that clear, because as I dive into the rest of my story, I want to go ahead and make it clear that yes, I was a thin girl. Yes, being a size 26 is still considered thin. But again, for me, in my personal experience, that's just how I felt. And I just didn't feel my prettiest. And, you know, I'm starting to accept for what my body is. And yes, no matter if I work out or, you know, if I try to eat healthier, of course it's going to help, but there are going to be days that I'm going to wake up bloated, and there are going to be days that I look like I'm 5 months pregnant and feeling like I'm having menstrual cramps, even though I'm not going to get my period for the next 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So I just want to go ahead and make that clear. And if you don't feel that way, then props to you, then that's awesome. But you know, everyone is different and everybody reacts different, and I hope that I can help you overcome if you're having those insecurities. I hope that I can help you overcome them and cope with all the changes and all the symptoms and all the side effects that come with it, because trust me, it does take a toll on you in every aspect. And yeah, that's why I'm here, guys. So anyway, let's get right into it, because again, I don't want to make this too long, and this is the reason why I'm going to make this in 2 parts, because I want to go ahead and break down the symptoms and how the early stages and prior to me getting diagnosed with endometriosis and having surgery. And my next video, I'm going to go ahead and be talking about when I was finally told that I needed to go into surgery, and then they found the endometriosis, and how I'm coping with it day to day. And yeah, so what is endometriosis, right? You're probably wondering, what is endometriosis? So endometriosis, a disorder in which the tissue that normally lines the uterus grows outside the uterus. With endometriosis, the tissue can be found on the ovaries, fallopian tubes, or the intestines. I've noticed that when I'm gonna go ahead and get my period, obviously, like everybody else, they get bloated and some women get cramps. And I say some women because I was one who had never experienced cramps. I first got my period when I was 12, and I never suffered from cramps up to when I was, 25. And to me, that was like, oh my God, the worst pain ever. But with endometriosis, it actually forms cysts. So you can either develop a huge mass, a huge cyst outside of the ovaries, which in my case, it was on my left and right ovary, but my left ovary was the most severe and the most scarred. And this is where it can become dangerous when you want to start trying to get pregnant, because it affects your fertility. Unfortunately, when I was getting my period, it was only forming more and more and more and more cysts and coagulating blood, obviously. So you can just imagine that is not healthy, that is not the way you're supposed to get your period, and that is not the purpose of getting your period. So this is why when I'm gonna get my period, and I keep saying period, like period everywhere, but that's really what it is. When every time it's the time of the month, you are gonna go ahead and just like almost every woman in the planet, if you don't get any inflammation, if you don't get any like type of bloating or anything, then you're like a freaking alien and out of this world, and it's freaking awesome. I am so jealous. But for the most part, even women who do not have endometriosis or anything of that matter, they still develop some type of cramps or bloating or back pain, backache, whatever it is. So you tend to look a little bigger, which is quite normal. The thing with that is that it cleans you out and you move on to the next cycle and you're fine. With me, instead of looking a little bloated, I literally look like I'm 5 months pregnant. So, which sucks because I'm already looking pregnant almost every single day. And with me getting my period, which is even more aggressive and heavier, especially because I got off birth control, it just becomes even more intense and more painful and again, heavier. Super TMI, but I think it's really important because at the end of the day, you want to have a healthy period, but you don't want to go ahead and, you know, bleed out to the point where you're going to become anemic. Again, that is when your diet and what you eat and what, you know, what type of exercise and all of that comes into play, because you don't know how your body is reacting every time it's your menstrual cycle. So it's very important that you girls keep an eye on, you know, making sure that you're having your nutrients, that you're having your calcium, your iron, your supplements, whatever it is that you girls are making sure that you're staying healthy and that you're on top of it. Because again, women with endometriosis already have a high risk of being infertile and having a harder time to conceive, and you want to make sure that you're prepping your body for when the time comes. Start to take care of themselves, start to take prenatals and all these vitamins and all these nutrients once they're like ready to start trying. And that is not the way to do it. You need to prep your body even if it's a year before. Try to get off birth control even if you're not going to go ahead and, you know, try to get pregnant, because endo sucks. It really sucks. So you are in charge of your body and you know your body better than anybody else, and I can only give you tips and tricks. At the end of the day, the way what works for me might not work for you, and then for those of you who what works for me can probably work for you, then awesome. You know, we both win. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the symptoms, and this is really, really important. So women, please, if you're watching this, pay attention, because this is seriously what's going to help you identify if you can potentially have endometriosis. And again, do not be discouraged. I don't want to scare you, I don't want to psych you out. Maybe what you have is something else. And for those of you who have been misdiagnosed and think like, oh well, these symptoms that she's mentioning sound familiar, and this is literally everything I'm experiencing, but I've already gone to my doctor and they keep telling me that it's going to go away, that it's normal, but it's been like almost half a year, it's been over a year, and you're still experiencing these pains. Listen, there are doctors out there who genuinely care for you and your well-being, and you need to go see your gynecologist, because that's ultimately the only person, the only specialist who's going to be able to identify any underlying issues that you might have. So, pain areas. It can occur during sexual intercourse, in the lower abdomen, lower back, pelvis, rectum, vagina, or bowel movement. And I know sometimes it can be terrifying going to the doctors, and I bet when it's already too late, now you're at stage 4 endometriosis like me, because I was misdiagnosed for so long and so many doctors just brushed me off, and I don't want that to happen to you. So this is why I definitely decided to do this, because I feel that it's so important that I talk about that. So like I mentioned, and I'm sorry that I keep jumping back and forth with the term and the symptoms, but I just cannot emphasize enough how terrifying and how bad my experience has been with all these doctors. And I'm so thankful for the doctors that did help me, that did take the time to find out what was going on with my body, and who actually believed me. And luckily they were able to save my ovaries. Now again, I don't want to talk about the surgery yet, because trust me, that's a whole other story that I'm sure you guys are intrigued to know, and that I mentally have to prepare myself for. You are having constipation or diarrhea. Everybody is different. Think, you know, maybe it's something I ate. Well, maybe it's not. But that's the first thing you see. Why am I constipated? You go online, like the biggest hypochondriac that I am. Of course, I googled every single symptom, and literally it was like, you ate something bad, you got food poisoning, blah blah blah. But look at all the red flags here. When you're having that, when you're having constipation, when you're having any type of pain with sexual intercourse, feeling back pains, or you're still feeling any lower abdomen, that is honestly the biggest red flag for me. And I want to emphasize on this, because to me, that was like, what the hell? And the reason why to me that was a red flag was because I got my period when I was 12. And I've never in my life ever suffered from any type of menstrual cramps, ever. I was never that girl in high school who was able to call out from school because I was going through menstrual cramps or whatever time of the month. Like, that was never me. My mom knew that I never suffered from cramps, so it's like I could never play her. There was times where I would go to school and my best friends weren't there, or like even at church, some of my friends, you know, would have major cramps and they weren't there, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, how come they get to call out, or they, you know, whatever? And that was never me, because no one in my family ever suffered from cramps. But again, it's different. Our generations are different. Things that we're consuming daily, things that we're putting in our bodies, all these toxins, all these hormones, literally everything is obviously affecting us, and our bodies are responding to it, and they're trying to detox, they're trying to tell us something, but we are not paying attention. So we definitely need to take care of our bodies and what we're consuming and what we're putting on them. Like literally every single day, it's either you're putting, you're cleansing your body, or you're treating your body like a trash can where you're just putting in just about anything. So I command you girls to please watch what you're eating, because I've heard that red meats aren't great for you, too much of it. You have to buy organic if you're gonna buy any type of meats, that they're organic, because obviously the more hormones, the more estrogen, and all of that can definitely affect you and flare up your endometriosis. So it's very important that you girls know what you're putting in your bodies every single day. But again, I want to talk about the symptoms. Definitely lower abdomen. That was to me the biggest red flag. I remember I was at work and the cramps started to flare up, and it was so bad to the point where I literally felt like I was gonna pass out. I started getting clammy, I started getting sweaty. I never sweat. Literally, I think I sweat, do super intense yoga. Oh, by the way guys, yoga is amazing for your cramps, but I'm gonna go ahead and add that on the next video. I swear that yoga works. I remember I've never been one to sweat. I hate sweat. I just don't like it. I'm like a little OCD. I just don't like sweat. It's weird, I know, don't judge me. But anyway, yeah, so I started getting super clammy, and I started getting moist. I don't like that word. I started to see super blurry, and the pain, guys, that I was feeling, oh my God, my lower abdomen, especially my left side, it was like somebody was carving a pumpkin inside of me. Someone was stabbing me with 1,000 knives all at once. It was the worst. I went to the doctor and I told him exactly what I was feeling. I told him, everything that was going on, all my symptoms and everything. And I specifically mentioned to him that I have had my period since I was 12 and never experienced any type of menstrual pain. So to me, this was abnormal. This was his answer. And I quote, okay? Well, how old are you? And I told him, oh, well, that's just your body going through changes, because it's your body telling you that, you're getting older and that you need to have children. What? I mean, are you freaking kidding me? So I'm being punished because I'm 20 something and that I do not have children? I swear to you, I was 24, 25. This is the way that Mother Nature is telling me you need to have children. What? This is it? This is seriously all you so wait, it's normal? He's like, well, it's not normal, but it's not abnormal. I need answers. I need facts. I need to know everything. I need to know if this is a myth or a fact. You have every right to ask the questions, because at the end of the day, this is not free. You're paying for that. And even if it was free, maybe he's right. But the fact that he didn't bother to do any testing, any blood work, any CT scans, any MRIs, any ultrasounds, apparently he didn't feel the need to do any further testing, because to him, it was visible to the eye that was it, that was the issue, that was what was gonna, solve my problem, is have a child. All right, cool. The pain did not stop. It continued and continued for the next 2 months. So then I went to visit another doctor and I said, hey, I'm having all these pains. I literally gave him a rundown of everything. I'm having all these pains, back pain, pelvic pain. I feel nauseous. I feel dizzy. I feel lightheaded. I get clammy. I feel sweaty. I'm starting to have night sweats. He said, oh, I know what it is. It's just your body changing because you're getting older. And I was like, whoa, pump your brakes. I'm not about to hear the same crap that the doctor told me. And he was like, no. That's just, it happens. Some women develop cramps and all of that at a later stage. Suppress it by giving you birth control. Now, I was like, birth control? Why? I just told you, I'm not sexually active. There's no reason of why I should be putting those toxins into my body. And I say toxins, and I know that a lot of you might say, well, what if you don't want to have any children? You guys have to understand, like I mentioned, I was not sexually active. There was no way of me getting pregnant. I tell you that the pain got so bad, I had no choice but to take the birth control, because at this point I was so desperate that I was willing to try just about anything. So then I took the birth control, and I noticed that the pain, as far as my cramps, were going away. They were not as severe. I wasn't getting clammy. They were all diminishing. They were being suppressed. But I did notice that I gained a little bit of weight because of the birth control. I did notice that I was getting very moody. I was always like easily irritated. Got off of it because I noticed that I wasn't having any of those cramps. I got off of it, and then I also noticed that the symptoms were going away as far as the side effects with the birth control. That a lot of it is, you know, your bone density, you feeling sleepy, irritated, blah, 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 all those things. I literally felt like I was a new person because I got off of it. And the great thing is that my cramps were gone. So I was like, oh my God, I was ecstatic. I was so happy because I was like, oh my God, like this is it. I finally found a solution. I finally found a cure to my cramps. I have not had a doctor who had made any type of blood work, CT scans, MRIs, any ultrasounds for that matter, nothing whatsoever. I was easily given a little speech that Mother Nature said I needed to have children, and then a birth control pill, and that was it. I've never had any other type of testing. So to me, it was just a cramp that was severe and that it was eventually gonna go away. So it did. But fast forward to 3 years later, the pain started to come back. I was happy without symptoms of any type of cramps, but then the bitch came back. And let me tell you, when I said she came back full force, where I was experiencing these pains and they were multiplying day by day. I was looking like I was 6 months pregnant, and it was bad. Now this is where it gets really good, guys, because at this point I'm already in a relationship with who now is my husband, and we were already dating for about 2 years. So I've never seen that side where I was in pain, I was having cramps, and I was looking bloated. Like, I'm telling you, when I was like slim, I was slim. Like, I never even worked out. Like, I don't even know how I was so skinny. I just think like genetics, right? But then I started like not gaining weight, but I noticed that my stomach was looking bigger. My clothes did not fit, my jeans, my shorts, everything. And I remember it was the spring of 2016. And the reason why I remember is because, yes, bitch, do not laugh, but in 2016, for all you Marvel fans like me, the new movie at the time, which was Civil War, because then it was Infinity War, and then Endgame. Oh my gosh, you guys, when I tell you I'm obsessed, I am obsessed, like legit obsessed. So yeah, we still went to the movies, but I remember that the pain during the middle of the movie, and if you guys have ever watched any Marvel movies, you know that those movies are freaking long. They're like 3 hours long. The pain was so bad in the middle of the movie that I started feeling a cramp going all the way down from my pelvic area to like my inner thigh. This isn't normal. Like, there's something wrong with me. So I looked online, went to go see the best gynecologist in town, and I looked at all the reviews. I did not care how expensive he was, and when I tell you he was expensive, it was about $350 just to see him. Not getting any test or anything, just to make an appointment and see him. He found out exactly what was going on, and trust me when I tell you, he did so much testing to the point where I remember he did blood work and ultrasound. He did a vaginal and an over the abdomen ultrasound. But with that, I conclude today's first video, part number 1 of my experience and my symptoms with endometriosis. And next video, I'm going to be talking about when I finally decided to have surgery and my experience and how everything came about, and the new discoveries and everything that they found during the surgery, and the type of surgery I had, because there are about 3 types, and what I had, and the treatment, and just my whole experience. Because trust me, my surgery was not the easiest, it was not the shortest, it was a little complicated. But nonetheless, take this with great responsibility and share all my experiences with you girls, because I want to make sure that I create awareness, that we raise a voice, and that we stick together, and that as a community, with all the women who are currently experiencing the same things, that this brings us closer, and that this is an open forum where you girls are comfortable to talk about it and not be afraid and not be discouraged by what the doctors have said in the past, or because you don't have the proper health care that you feel that you need to find the right answer, do not let any of that discourage you, because trust me, there are public health services out there, things that you can do so you can obtain, you know, either low cost or at no cost services. So do your research, girls. I don't know what state you live in, I don't know what state or county you live in, but please do your research and don't let that be the reason why it holds you back to being healthier and feeling better, and finally finding a solution to why you're feeling those pains. So I'm going to take this with great courage and great responsibility, and this is the reason why I decided to create a YouTube channel to send a message to your homes and make this a better place. That concludes the first part of my video. Thank you for watching, and God bless, and I will catch you guys on video part number 2. So bye guys, I love you, and yeah, bye.